NPC to stop importing fuel and buy from Dangote. That's not happening. When everybody always talk again and say, it needs to intervene. Intervene what? Are you that daft? He is the one behind the whole mess. 100% he is himself and his men. Wale Idun has granted, they even went to Dangote Refinery to celebrate the loading of tankers for petroleum. Tankers. Only for the tankers never to get to their destination for weeks. He's the one behind the whole thing. Such a rigged system that, and it is so so hard to be on Dangote's side as well, because he himself has enjoyed this monopolistic life for decades. Dangote has never used his advantage, his business advantage, which the system has given to him. He has never used it to benefit Nigeria and Nigerians, ever. Is a guy who always floats the idea of believing in Nigeria, investing in Nigeria, that he has been against importation. Here you get the majority of the businessmen in Nigeria, they just want to import and import. They do not want to produce. But he, Dangote, has been the one who always want to produce in Nigeria and employ people, make Nigeria productive. But that is not true as well. It's not true. Well, it's not 100% true. When Bokwari banned the importation of rice, Dangote was importing rice, rebagging the rice, and reselling it in Nigeria. Everyone else, if they born you well, go import rice. You just lost your business. He enjoyed that. There are so many things that were banned. People were banned from importing them to Nigeria. Dangote no get farm. He no get anything that is growing in Nigeria. But he's into food production so much that he import majority of them, rebag them in his name, and then resell them in Nigeria. He's enjoyed that a lot. See, Dangote was given free access to some of the limestone deposits across Nigeria. But Nigerians never enjoyed cheap cement, ever. Although he blames that on the cost of production. There's nothing that Nigeria enjoys from Dangote per se. Nothing. So it's so hard to be on his side. But you see, this particular refinery of a thing, it is not just Dangote's money. There is Nigeria money in there. Even though he has denied that, he reduced the Nigeria supposed money in that place. He reduced it to 7%, and so many other things that the shady about is the refinery. But the thing is that he has a refinery that is 50% working. And that 50% is enough to help crash the cost of living in Nigeria, the high cost of living in Nigeria. That is a fact. So now they feel like since Dangote, since Stephen is the press idiot, and it is time for some other people to become very rich too, not just him, Dangote. So they could sabotage him. He will just, they are saying that he just want to enjoy the monopoly. It's like people are kind of like, they've suffered enough in the hand of Dangote in so many things. And to them, anything where Dangote gets interest in, it will monopolize it. In fairness, right? In fairness, you will say, let there be competition. Because you see, when you remove subsidy, it simply means that everyone can go and source for the petroleum product. Go and source for the product wherever you like and sell it if people will buy it from you. So why can't Dangote just wake up tomorrow? Okay, I think it doesn't really have the cabal thing. It doesn't have its own petrol stations. But he's a rich guy. He could buy all these petrol stations now. She gets. Now that things are very hard and tough, and they're asking everybody to go and do CNG. If he's a billionaire like Elon Musk, just buy some of these petrol stations and begin to sell a liter of petroleum for 500 naira per liter. Now, with the imports, NMPC and all of them, they will be the one to lose. Even though NMPC will lose, now Nigeria they lose. NMPC never declare profits for 60 years that you've had NMPC. Aramco, Saudi oil, Aramco oil in Saudi, Gazprom, Russia, is it Gazprom or Gazprom or something? The Russian national oil. They are all declaring profits in billions of dollars. NMPC know they declare profits because it's filled with corruption. So if they make money, you no go know. If they lose money, you no go know, because now Nigeria they bear the brunt. They can even go about and borrow money in the name of Nigeria. NMPC won't pay it. It will be added to the Nigerian debt. But still, go on and sell the products. I mean, Dangote can make just 50 kobo on each liter. It doesn't have to make the current arrangement, the current pricing and all of that right now. The cost of production of a barrel of crude oil. Somebody did the math. I'm not sure if they are really accurate. Okay, what I figured out is that with the cost of producing refining a barrel of crude oil and how much Dangote is selling a liter, if you plus or minus it, right, Dangote is actually making 118 naira per liter profit for saying that he is selling his own petroleum at 990 naira per liter to marketers. So that means before the fuel gets to the marketers themselves, Dangote is making 118 naira on each liter of petroleum. You can make 50 kobo. You still make a lot of money. Somebody said that, and others are like, it's not that easy. It's not that simple. Shut up your goddamn mouth, man. It is simple. It's just because you have a place where these criminals are all criminals enough that they worship money so much that they do not understand. Americans, right? Where you have all these capitalists, they can tell you that 1 cent on a dollar or 2 cents on a dollar is okay for them. And then they will still be billionaires because the market is so big, it's so huge, that by the time you begin to roll out your product, roll it out, you'll still be a billionaire in dollars. But they don't want that. They want something that Dangote want to make over 100 naira on each liter of petroleum that it sells to. Then the marketers will also have their own. They call the logistics and all of those things they will list, right? And then you will pay for it. You, the end users. I mean, how could anybody say that imported fuel is cheaper than the locally refined one? It doesn't make any sense in true sense of it. It doesn't make any sense. But because that's the narrative they push out there to justify why they won't buy from him. If they won't buy from you, you are a billionaire. If you are truly a billionaire, you could go out there and just say, okay, you know what? I'm just going to buy all the refinery, all the petrol stations, like a franchise. Buy all of them or buy half of them. And then begin to supply them with your products. Within the space of 6 months, you will perfect a chain of supply that everybody can say Dangote oil is 600 naira per liter. NMPC 1,015 naira, 1,017 naira. Which one would you buy? Adulterated product, adulterated imported product, or a locally refined beautiful one that is cheap? So they are now pushing in here and there. Every day there is keeping that is supposed 500 million liters in a tank somewhere. He's losing money, but he's crying. And these ones are now they are now in court, asking the court to throw out his case. Because he went to court to say the court should revoke their licenses so that they can't import anymore. There was not just a few days ago that Wale Edu said Tinubu had a meeting and he ordered everybody to go and buy from him. What is now this all hula balu? I'm going to replay that video. Wale Edu.
We have today had a session with His Excellency Mr. President to review the implementation so far of his bold initiative endorsed fully by the Federal Executive Council of selling crude to local refiners who then sell in Naira, who then sell their products in Naira to the Nigerian public. This initiative, which was initiated by Mr. President, was made possible also by the huge investment, the courageous and bold investment also of Dangote Group in a local refinery of 650,000 barrels per day refining capacity. To date, the implementation committee and the subcommittee have worked assiduously with all stakeholders, the regulators, NMDPRA, NUPRC, NIMASA, as well as MPA, NMPC, the Navy, and a host of other stakeholders to ensure that this important initiative is implemented, and it is being implemented as we speak. And what it has made possible is that now we have, and what made it most possible is that now we have market pricing of petroleum products. And relatedly, we have market pricing of foreign exchange. That has set the economy on the path to industrialization, because with private sector refining of crude oil, we now have raw materials, not just for agriculture, but for industry, for chemicals, for paints, for building materials, for textiles. And of course, this is Mr. President's strategy and his policy of making conditions ripe for the private sector to invest, create jobs, and grow the economy. Likewise, the market pricing of foreign exchange, the market pricing of petroleum products has also paved the way for NMPC to restore its balance sheet, restore its financial fortunes, and of course, to give the Federation, federal, state, and local governments more funding in order to allow them to meet their obligations, salary payments to workers, social services to the population generally, and of course, key infrastructure development. The economy has been set well and truly on a path, although it's early steps and there is much to be done. But we can now see a clear path to industrial development for modernization of the Nigerian economy, because the key prices are right and it is encouraging private sector investment. On that note, I believe that what happened in the meeting was that all committed to ensuring that this all-important effort is sustained, and that whatever the teething problems, whatever the initial obstacles to successful implementation of local sale in Naira of crude petroleum to domestic refiners and the correlating sale of petroleum products in Naira is fully achieved. The determination starts right from the very top. From Mr. President downwards, there is a commitment to make this work. We had Afri-Exim as part of the meeting, and Afri-Exim is one of the financial institutions that will assist and actually be an intermediary to ensure that the parties, the seller of the crude, the buyer of the crude, are able to complete their transactions no matter the fact that the foreign exchange market is volatile and moves all the time. We have in the financial advisor and the financial intermediary a stabilizing factor that will help us to achieve the objective of ramping up stick production of refined products and the sale of those products into the Nigerian economy.
I'm so sorry, right? To do your nothing, right? Could you make any sense of that? The last time I played the video, I asked the same question. Could anybody really make any sense of what the jargons he just said there? Of the local refineries in crude in Naira, of the local refiners to the other products to improve production, to sell in Naira, of the crude oil to local refiners, and ensure that they are refined. God damn it, man. Because it's all jargons, man. Jargons. Tifnubu has ordered, Tifnubu has ordered, where the order now? Where is the order? Why? Is it that the people that Tifnubu told to go and buy from Dangote, they are not buying from him because they said it is too expensive? Man, it's crazy, man. Then they say, tí rí nǹkan kan, tí rí nǹkan kan, tí rí nǹkan kan. Ariwo lè rí, tí rí nǹkan kan, tí rí nǹkan kan, kankan. Tí rí nǹkan kan. You know? As for Dangote, your battle, just the weird schedule. If you want, I mean, if I be Dangote, in this case, right, I will just stop all this fight with them. Since he said he's been selling to ships as well, right? Like if you bring your ship and Dangote want to sell you his products, it is cheaper, 750 naira or 760 naira per liter. Alaye, just sell your stuff to the ships and let them bring the product from abroad and continue to sell at 1,100, 1,200, 1,500 in some places to people there. I've been now. Except if that is not totally true. You know? Man, I am not an economist, so sure you get, and I know get refinery. But as a layman, I do have an idea, and there are two ideas. Tifnumbu wants to control, is already in control of how they want to redirect the wealth. And you, Dangote, is not part of the plan. You've enjoyed it for so long that you'll be still full of it so much now. And since you are not a legit businessman, like Elon Musk, look at what Elon Musk did with Donald Trump. In America, American government provided loan for big businesses like that. And Elon Musk also got some billions of dollars from American government, treasury. And then he paid back all his debts on Tesla and all this. He paid back all of that loan. Then he was bold enough to go all out, to stick his neck out, right? For a political opponent to the government in power. It was a gamble. But the likes of Dangote, quota system billionaires, who only thrive in the, in the political patronage, okay, of the dubious criminals in power, who knows that all they have to do is to pull a plug. Once they pull a plug, about Dangote, you go hear about them again. You will only be reading about him. And that is why you see all those rich men in Nigeria, all those your rich uncles. They didn't make their money legitimately. They made their money because they were able to make a phone call. A phone call that made them got away with a lot of things that could have put them in jail as well. They got away. And they can't stand, they can't stand against the establishment. They can't stand against the system. They can only do it in a treacherous way, hidden, okay? If not, Dangote is supposed to be the richest black man, Abi. He alone is capable of bending the hand of those who are like the other cockroaches milking the system. If his money is also clean, okay, he will be able to bend. And it could save all of you. Honestly, it could save all of you from this. It could break the chain of corruption in that place. But his own money is not clean. And if he tried it, all they have to do is just pull the plug. Then you realize that Dangote, a quota system billionaire, is not what you think he is, or it's not what he says he is. I mean, if I am a billionaire, real clean billionaire, I will just crash the entire market, Abi. Send them into this serious panic mode. Expose them in such a way that the rest of you can know that, well, the system is a weapon fashioned against you. A billionaire. You know what, guys? We are going to go on an aggressive takeover. The next 6 months, I want to buy 60% of all the oil refineries, oil dispensary stations, filling stations in Nigeria. Anyone that is already folding up in the local area, rural area, in the cities everywhere, I want to take over them. And I need you to go out and begin to acquire them, as many as possible. And within 6 months, it probably can acquire more than 100,000 filling stations across Nigeria. Refurbish them, give them this modern, fancy, expand some of them if you have to. Then begin to supply your product into them. Diesel, petrol, and all of that. Cut down what you expected to gain from all of this. Just bypass all these marketers themselves and see how many of you will be tripping there. And before you know it, it's either it will force the hand of these NNPC criminals, or they will try to wield the huge armor on him. And guess what? He will have all of you on his side. He can single-handedly trigger the revolution that will force the like of Tinubu and gang. And once they break the corruption of that oil sector, there's likelihood that so many others will follow suit. If I be that kind of billionaire, here you get. But somebody said I can't, because I said it myself. I'm just saying that in a scenario where his money is clean, but his money is not. It's not. He is as greedy as the criminal politicians that he has been giving money to secretly so as for them to gain power, have access to power, so that they can protect his business. That's one thing somebody said about the Nigerian elites, that they will learn. A lot of them believes that following Tinubu, that whatever he does or whatever he sort of tries to do to you, they are going to be immune from it. It won't affect them. Tinubu is publicly campaigning that people should go and join CNG, go and buy CNG, go and convert